So yeah, I was actually able to secure us an interview with a Universal model.
Okay, which one?
The Invisible Man!
The Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man. He's going to be here in the studio with us.
The guy that can turn invisible and kill people and does not know where he is. Is he here right now?
I mean, he's just over there in the sitting area. But yeah, we're going to be within like arm's length of him.
Great!
So yeah, anyway, like this is going to be so awesome. So just go ahead, just remain calm. He's right there, so just remain calm. All right. Just a quick side note. Apparently, the invisible potion that he took makes him a little. It's still in the testing phase of sorts. So the doctor kind of told me that if he starts acting a little maniacal, like ruling the world, murdering puppies, that kind of thing, we're supposed to give him a little bit of a sleepy shot. Because otherwise he'll go on a homicidal rampage and kill us all.
Okay.
So yeah.
Hi.
So, Mr. Invisible Man, or is it, just Mr. Man? Anyway. Good to meet you.
Yes. Thank you for assisting me in finding out who the true killers are.
The killers?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So what's it like being invisible?
The world has become a little more appealing with this power. This ability to have the entire world grovel at your feet as you trip them. Yes.
I don't... I'm pretty sure that's the kind of thing you were talking about, man. Should we just...
No, it's fine. He's just playing a little prank. I mean, come on, like, who could resist?
Hey, yeah, sure. Yeah, so, what is it, what do you feel like you could do with this power? I mean, good, right? Good things?
Yes, this power, this control that I have, the ability to be unseen, to be able to do what is good in the shadows, but also evil.
Do good or evil.
I mean, anybody has the capacity for good and evil, right? Like, he's just a normal person.
Just ask about evil. I just ask, yeah, okay, cool, that's great, yeah.
Although there's a certain amount of joy and the fear that I can put in the hearts of my enemies and small children because they don't know where I am.
Did he just threaten a child?
I mean, kids are kind of annoying.
That's not...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to feel any better, man. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, alright, yeah, cool.
At least we're your friends, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes, you are indeed very good friends. Being able to spend time with me, talking me off the ledge, although one cannot deny, friends can only get you so far. No. Someone with my abilities, my power, they should have followers on YouTube.
Oh, okay. YouTube, yeah, okay, yeah, I get behind that.
Yes. I shall create a new world order. The ability to be able to reboot all of cinema in a YouTube channel called Entertainment Rebooted.
Okay, I think that is about
No, wait a minute. You said to give him a chance. I'd like to hear what he has to say. I think he might have some, I think he's onto something here. I think there might be some good points.
They're all afraid. Every last one of them scared to death. Everyone fears me.
Okay,
go to bed.
Quick, get him before he goes invisible.
Dear God, how did he get his pants off so fast?
Welcome back to
Entertainment Rebooted, and another episode of our continuing series, Cinema Revisited, the Universal Monster Movies, where we are watching all the classic Universal Monster movies, and we're talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the iconic of this great classic film franchise. Speaking about great classics, I am joined, of course, by my esteemed co-host, DJ. Say hi, DJ.
Hello.
All right, DJ, tonight we watched none other than Abbott and Costello meeting the Invisible Man.
Yes.
So, for those who have not been graced or given the opportunity to see this classic 1940s, 1950s, late 1940s film, let's have a brief plot summary.
1951. Oh, it is actually the year that it had in the movie. Wow, this took place 3 years after the last one. They did Abbott and Costello in 1948, and then 3 years later they did this one.
Yep. So in 3 years,
Wow.
were they able to put together an interesting plot for Abbott and Costello meeting the Invisible Man?
Yes, actually. Okay, so just a quick pre-summary as we have been watching through the entire Universal Monster films. The last film we watched was Abbott and Costello meet. That was Frankenstein? Yeah, Frankenstein. Which had a bustle of monsters in it. Frankenstein, Dracula, and Wolfman. This one only has one, the Invisible Man, and it focuses very well on that, and it focuses very hard on that. This is, to my feeling, first and foremost, an Invisible Man movie. It is the full plot of the Invisible Man. It follows very closely in style to the original Invisible Man.
Definitely in style. Definitely
Yes, the style to the original Invisible Man with a lot of feeling from the sequel, where it's someone else other than the one who invented it is getting the serum.
Yep.
But the acting and the talking and the what comes across is very much reminiscent of the original Invisible Man film. It is, well, I would say actually takes its cues hard from the second one. Mainly, the plot of the film is a man is framed for murder, gets himself turned invisible by a close friend, and his significant other, the lady that he loves, protects him and meets with him in the meantime, and he uses his invisibility to try to clear his name, which is reminiscent of the second Invisible Man film.
Yeah, but the one major difference is that the man who is accused of murder is a professional boxer.
Yes.
And he is being framed for the murder of his manager because the mob apparently is betting very heavily on these matches, and he did not lay down and throw his last match and knocked out the person that the mob was betting on, losing them a bunch of money.
The characters that Abbott and Costello play in this are detectives, and they are hired by the Invisible Man to clear his name. Several points throughout the film, they betray each other. Well, the Invisible Man never really betrays them, but they
tries to betray the Invisible Man multiple times. Lou, on the other hand, is so terrified of the Invisible Man that he just wants him to be his friend.
Yes.
But
that's the dynamic is really good. The dynamic is straight up. The Invisible Man actually feels like the main character in this one. Abbott and Costello, even though the point of view is from them, the protagonist is the Invisible Man, which it feels a little bit more true to the story than the last one did, where Abbott and Costello and the monsters actually fit well together. They feel more like the comic relief in the plot. This one, they all feel like characters in the film. They all feel important. They're very important to the plot. They're not just side characters. Their kind of dynamic works really well there. That the plot flows through it. Those characters. So this is a little bit different of a film than the last Abbott and Costello movie.
It is a much more put together film, in my opinion. It feels more like a traditional plot with comedic elements in it, as compared to, let's make a cheesy horror movie that is fully just Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, and it
Running
pulls
into
some really
monsters.
fun plot points. They do a whole boxing match. They do a you're gonna throw the fight trope. They clear the name of the Invisible Man at the end, and then he gets the girl at the end, which is the happy ending that the Invisible Man often gets in pretty much every Invisible Man film except for the very first one where he dies.
Pretty much.
It's bar for bar an Invisible Man story, follows very much in the veins of the second Invisible Man, Invisible Agent, Invisible Man's Revenge, a lot of those, like, so yeah, it's a fun little romp. That's pretty much the summary. I know I give it kind of a review in there too, but I kind of did because this feels like a Universal monster film again and not just a cheap. And you asked the question, does it make the difference? 3 years apparently was what they needed to like feel like they could refresh it.
Yeah, it feels like there's a bit more of a focus, and it feels like an Invisible Man movie with Abbott and Costello in it as compared to an Abbott and Costello movie featuring monsters.
Yep.
So, all right, we like to talk good, bad, ugly, iconic. Good.
So the good for me is that this is a Universal monster film again. The Invisible Man is one of our favorite. Well, I think both of our favorite characters in the Universal Monster series, but
Yeah, especially the first one. Well,
yeah,
but even the second one,
yes,
Vincent Price.
I really like the
was
second one
good,
too.
yeah.
But I really like the story of the Invisible Man, like the character, the drive to insanity that he does. But this one feels the closest to capturing the insanity of the first one. Almost every one of the Invisible Mans had like a different take on what insanity means. The first one became power hungry and obsessed. The second one became bent on revenge and violence.
Yeah.
The Invisible Woman became like intoxicated and like
She didn't have any ambitions.
yeah, no inhibitions. All her
she had no inhibitions.
yeah, all of her inhibitions were gone. So she was very flirtatious and
Out
open,
there, and
and
she was-
all of the things she
yeah.
wanted to do, she would just do them. The Invisible Agent was flippant and obnoxious. So they all had a different take on it. But my favorite of the takes was the first two, the more chaotic and insane. And this follows that really well. So it's just a really good take on the character and the story for me.
I agree. So continuing that, I'll pile on. The good is 100%. They got the dynamic of the Invisible Man very well.
Mm-hmm.
And it is just the thing that makes the Invisible Man so interesting and entertaining is that while he is going mad, it's not just that he's just flips a switch and he's evil.
Right.
It is a thing where it's like
gradual.
It's gradual. It's always in like the dialogue at first. So at first he starts talking about, he's like, I mean, I'm desperate. I need to become invisible. Something drives him to where he has to become invisible. Once he becomes invisible, it's like, yes, I need to be cured quickly. This was just like, in this case, it was like, I need to be cured quickly because I know I'm probably going to go insane. And I just need to get out and away from the cops. But they didn't have the cure ready yet.
Oh.
While he's kind of stewing in the potion, when they do this dynamic well, you start noticing that he starts talking where he's like, I'm actually kind of liking this. I like the fact that I'm invisible.
Yeah, I feel good.
I feel good. And then it starts becoming, I feel powerful. And then it starts becoming, I feel feared. I have this ability. I have this power.
Right.
This innate
It
desire.
starts out almost like I'm actually afraid of this gift. And then it becomes, this is a gift. Then it becomes, this is a power. Then he goes past, it's a power. Then it becomes, I've already won. I'm the great villain on top of the mountain. They all fear me because of my power. And he hasn't even done anything yet.
Yeah, and
he
it's
starts
like
to,
evil grandeur.
Yeah, like the cart before the horse. He's like, I haven't even succeeded at my plot yet, but I'm already a god. And it's like, dude, you haven't even proved your innocence. Like, calm down.
Yeah. But they play this dynamic really well, so that by the end of the film, it is kind of, you're dealing with this unstable personality. But the other thing is that because he is going mad, he's actually going kind of insane, he tends to do things that are actually kind of hilarious, but it's hilarious. You can, like, if you like sit in his shoes, it's like what he's doing is actually kind of fun and funny. However, us as the audience, we can't see him. He's invisible, and so we understand just how terrifying it is to have somebody who is gleefully messing with people and has this ability to very much hurt people.
Yep.
And he doesn't care. So it's just, it plays into this so well. It plays this Invisible Man story arc very well. So that is the good. The good in this film is they did the Invisible Man right.
And the dialogue with it is solid because he got really close to doing. We make the joke like, even the moon fears me. He doesn't actually say it in this movie, but he says a lot of the same or very similar stuff as the first Invisible Man did right up to that point. I can do very good or great evil. Like he starts doing those monologues from that first one. I was almost
talking about followers, starts talking about how people fear him, and then he gets cut off.
Yeah, and I was waiting for him to say it. Like, come on, man, just do it. Just do it. Do it, Universal. You have it in you. But they did. And that's fine. Like, but it would have been really fun for them to just kind of throw it in there. Even the moon fears me, and then be like, that would have been a great joke for Abbott and Costello to run off of.
Well, right, because it would have been funny just to have like Lou react to it, or even that be like the moment that Bud kind of breaks and is just like, nah, he's gone.
Yeah,
you know, like it is one of those lines where it is iconic to the character, and so if they had played it, they could have played it as a joke.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
he could have played it as a joke, and it would have worked as a serious part of the plot.
Yeah,
it would have been a great like double like whammy there, but it's fine. Like I'm not salty it's gone. It just would have been really fun.
Yeah. Okay, how about bad? What's
the bad for me is straight up is the ending. It's a goofy ending, and it does, I guess, fit Abbott and Costello, but it doesn't fit the film. The film was not goofy. The film has the Abbott and Costello humor, a little bit of the slapstick, a little bit of the silliness, but it fits well as a distraction from the seriousness of the plot.
Yeah.
It comes to a conclusion where he turns invisible, which is funny, and then he goes like, "Oh, we're gonna be a detective."
Costello becomes invisible.
Yeah. He becomes invisible, which is it's funny, and then he goes out. And I was like, "Oh, that's a really great way to end it." And then it keeps going, and I was like, "No, you should have ended it with him walking out the door, or with him walking out the door and then screaming, everyone's screaming because because it wears off. That would have been fine." But they're like going to an elevator, and then he like starts like basically assaulting women in the elevator.
Yeah, and that's
and then bends over to kiss her, and then gets seen, and then he's on backwards and runs. I was like, none of that was necessary. It just they should have ended it with him walking out, and then everybody screaming as it wears off. Would have been perfect.
Well, exactly. That's kind of what I was expecting. It is one of those.
It ran on a little too long.
Yeah, it is a.
It's only like an extra 2 minutes, but it hurt me.
Yeah, and
the movie was solid until that moment.
And the thing too is that the ending, the way that it did go on a little bit too long, but it's also just didn't age well. You know, he's invisible and he assaults a woman. Like that doesn't age well. People aren't going to like that nowadays. That's almost a warning. Like, hey, like that.
Yeah, but
it is funny, and you know you can play it off for what it is. Like if people are invisible, they're going to tend to do stuff like that. The thing that bothered me about that ending was the fact that he becomes visible again. His legs are backwards. Why?
Yes.
Like the invisible potion just turns the person's skin, blood, and bone.
Yeah, it's just over the top goofy. Yeah, and it just doesn't fit the rest of the film. So that was too much for me. That's my bad.
Yeah, the bad is definitely like the ending. I would say that one of the bad parts of it is just I didn't care a lot for honestly you mentioning the ending now. I'm just like I'm having a hard time thinking of any part.
The movie was solid until that.
It was a very solid movie. There's not a lot that I can say that's actually genuinely bad about this one because Invisible Man's done well. The acting's pretty solid. The humor is pretty on point, and it is classic humor, but it's also very like it works even to this day. That kind of humor. I think that the bad would be maybe just Bud once again. Abbott, he has this tendency with the last one too, where he doesn't really necessarily believe, but it's also a thing of he kind of goes contrary to the plot to make sure that it doesn't go smooth at first. And it's a little bit tiresome when not only is it like he denies the fact that the Invisible Man exists for a while, but we commented that it's a good thing that it's kind of early on where he runs into the Invisible Man. The issue that falls after that, though, is that he doesn't just try to betray Tommy. He doesn't just try to betray Tommy once, but throughout the entire movie, he's trying to betray him for money, and it's just like, okay, so you want to be on the good side of the mob instead of helping Tommy, who is an innocent man convicted of murder.
Well, to be fair, he's all about money. It's money for him, which it was from the very beginning. And he's practical. Yeah. Like, he's like, but yeah, I know, I get it. Like, but that's what it is. It's like overly practical. Like, well, let's just do what's easiest for us.
Right, and he's playing this whole thing, and he's constantly betraying him, and then it's just like the Invisible Man shows up, and he's like, "Oh, why are you betraying me?" And it's like, because he has to betray you at least 3 times.
Yeah.
Man, why wouldn't he betray you?
Okay, so that's my ugly.
Okay.
My ugly is the just excessive amount of betrayal that he gives to the guy, because it's not actually funny. It's actually kind of sad, because he's just like, one of the best parts in the movie is where the 3 of them are sitting down to dinner, and they're each trying to like front to protect him, and like Bud's just sitting there like protecting him, just like everybody's like, oh, you're gonna get us all in trouble, and it's like, oh, self-preservation. But at the same time, like, when he gets knocked out, he could have betrayed him then and left him there, but he's concerned about getting him out.
Yeah. It's
like, that's not concern about your own safety. That's concern for his well-being. So you have a heart there, and then you just like throw it out. And then when he goes, the last betrayal, when he's like, well, just throw the fight. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you left us. After he was like, nah, he'll be here. He was so sure he's going to be there, and he immediately betrays him. That part, it doesn't ruin the film. It works to his character, to the part, but that is the ugly side of the film. Bud's like consistent betrayal sometimes feels kind of out of left field. At the beginning, it makes sense.
Well, right, yeah.
But once he switches sides to him, and he's on board with it, and he actually Bud even maybe starts to believe that he actually is innocent. Like, they know it, and they overhear it. Like they at some point they know he's innocent. They're able to know it, like, without a doubt. He's still gonna betray him. I'm like, okay, at this point, man, this is really low, and it just feels like as not just a low for him, but it feels like it's jabbing his character. His character feels like it makes progression throughout. It starts out, I only care about money, I only care about the job, to, hey,
I care about my
safety too. I care about we could do something good for this person, and we're getting paid well. This is our job. We're detectives. We should be detectiving and doing good detective work and finding who this guy is. Like, it's not just personal or it's professional. This is our job. Yeah. And then it just gets like thrown out the window at the last minute. And that last betrayal, not all of them as a whole, just that last one really stung. Like, it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
Especially right after he was like, yeah, he's going to be here. Ah, screw him. You went right back to your old self like that.
Yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to lean into it. The ugly is the ending. The more that I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, that's the worst part of this movie is just the ending. It's funny because it's like he becomes invisible. There's some jokes and gags about it, but it's like the moment he gets up off the table and leaves the room, everything after that,
it just goes downhill.
It goes downhill, and it goes down so fast, but
it's not
so
in just so like I'm not like a prude about stuff. Like, I don't like, joking is joking, but it comes at the end of the movie after everything else. You did it. Like, the movie is over, and they're like, just as an extra thing, what would I do if I was invisible? Haha, the ladies' locker room. It's like, we've already had a movie. Like,
right, and the thing is,
we're done.
And don't get me wrong. It's like I can get a joke. I understand what's going on about it. The reason that I'm saying that it's just kind of ugly is that it is a thing where it's like Lou is always kind of played off, like, especially in this movie, he's this nervous guy. He wants to be liked by people. He wants to be liked by women. He wants to be he's respectful.
He becomes
to
invisible.
women. The moment he becomes invisible, he's just like, I'm going to go and I'm going to start, like pinching.
I have
cheeks and
all
kissing
I have
babes.
all the confidence in the world, which
Which I get, and some of the humor, like, it's just like, it is kind of like humorous in a way, but it also is just kind of ugly because it's like within 5 seconds of becoming invisible, you're already just going out and doing that. And
right.
if you hadn't have immediately become visible again, what would you have done? But then,
well, that's the thing. It's like he gives in to the worst instincts of the Invisible Man syndrome immediately.
Right, but
like he's weak as nothing. It was just sad.
Yeah, and then he becomes visible again, and it's like, oh yeah, his legs are backwards, which makes no sense again. It's just ugly because it is like, okay, so
it threw me out of the film. I was like, this is great. What the heck is this?
Right, it's just this awful ending to this otherwise very well done movie. But it's also like the fact that like his legs came back on backwards. It felt almost like, okay, so you don't understand anything about the Invisible Man, but then it's like, I've just watched this entire movie where you played the Invisible Man near perfect, and then it's his legs are on backwards. So it's just ugly.
It's
like,
it doesn't fit in
parts,
this film. That whole scene would have been perfectly fine if it had been if the whole movie had been a comedy.
Right, but the other thing
or like the other Invisible Man like was doing, like, the problem is it was a very serious like Invisible Man fear with Abbott and Costello as the comic relief.
Right.
And suddenly when they're the main act, it just goes off the rails. I was like, no, not in this film. This would have worked in the last one. The Invisible Man shows up at the end and they're like, that worked. It was funny.
Yeah, it was a fun ending. But the other thing too is that it's just like the humor that they've had throughout the entire movie, all of it is just done very well. It's still relevant. A lot of the jokes are still really funny to this day. And it's like, you and I both identified what the best joke for the ending would have been. But they didn't. The best joke for the ending would have just been like, I gotta go get him, and the doctor just being like, oh, don't worry, it's temporary. He'll probably become visible very soon here, and then just having somebody go, dear God, put some pants on, something like that.
Oh my gosh, he's naked! Yeah, exactly. Yes, that would have worked. That would have been hilarious, and it wouldn't have been over the top.
Yeah,
like it. Yeah, it was too much. It was too much silliness all at once. It was like it was like putting like all the funniest scenes from a National Lampoon movie at the very end of of Home Alone. Like what is, like, it doesn't fit the film. Like, what is all this? What are we doing? What is happening? Oh, and now at the end of Home Alone 2, he goes to college. What? Just don't do that. Yeah, it was wild.
Okay, how about iconic? What's the part that you actually say would be worth watching it?
The iconic of this film is a little bit more. So we talked about the good was like, the Invisible Man was a good character. We talked about like the film is just a good representation of the Invisible Man. The iconic part of this film, I think, really is the dialogue. Mm-hmm. The Invisible Man's dialogue, the dialogue between him, the juxtaposition of Abbott and Costello and the Invisible Man works off perfectly in this film, because Abbott and Costello are doing like their antics, but he's slowly going insane, and they're just being like themselves, and they're like kind of catching the signs, but they're like, hey man, because this Invisible Man kind of does all the things all the Invisible Man have done in the past. He gets the maniacalness, he gets the need for violence and revenge, he gets the drunkardness, the inhibitions gone in every possible way, and when he like passes out and drunk, and they're forced to like drag him out, the fight scenes like where he's fighting for him, the action, some of the greatest both cinematography and direction and work in this film is the fight scene, is the whole fight, because it's not the stereotypical like he does the fight for him. The Invisible Man leaves and goes out and listens to the bad guy talk, and then he's in his own ring getting the crap beat out of him, and then he comes back, he accidentally knocks him out, and then he gets back up. The dynamic is all over the place, and all the reactions of the people in the crowd. What the heck is going on? They keep going back and forth, and there's these little subtleties. The gangster starts to think that both the fighters are in on it and they're trying to screw him together. And it's all subtle dialogue. Like, he's just talking like, he doesn't say, there's no exposition. He doesn't go, they're both trying to screw me. No, he goes, what is this? Something smells fishy about this. Oh, these two aren't going to screw me. Go, like, you could pick up that, oh, he thinks they're both turning on him. Doesn't ever say it, doesn't exposition it, but you get that just from the subtle dialogue. The dialogue between Bud and Abbott and Costello, Bud and I can't remember his name now. Bud and Lou, Abbott and Costello, when they're in the boxing ring, and he's talking like, "Hey, you got this." He barely put a glove on you, and he's like, "Oh, like just like nearly unconscious." Just some excellent cinematography, great angles, great fight scenes. But the dialogue, there's so much subtlety in the dialogue. The dialogue of the Invisible Man going crazy when he's getting drunk and he starts talking about how I can do whatever I want, and then Bud covers over him going, "What to be or not to be," and starts quoting like great like Shakespeare, and then
monologuing.
They all start monologuing and to like cover up for him. The little subtle jokes, the wordplay that Costello does when he's in the room with the girl, and he's like, "Hey," when he's like, "Run round 1, round 2, round 3." Like,
I think we can go farther. I think we can make it more.
He's like, just, oh, excuse me.
You're excused for now.
Just solid, really well put out dialogue. A lot of the plot is in the subtlety of the dialogue. It's just amazing.
It's a good movie. It's a solid movie. I would say that the iconic for me is actually all of the scenes where they have to go to the psychiatrist. The fact that they keep going back to the
oh, that was good. That is a good one. Yeah,
like,
those are...
I thought that was a very well done return gag.
Yeah.
Because not only is it like, it's hilarious in the beginning, like the fact that they literally they're like, "Oh, you need to talk to this really nice man. It's a psychiatrist," and he's trying to hypnotize him to be like, "Okay, what do you mean by you saw an invisible man?" And he ends up hypnotizing him and everybody in the office, and eventually they take the watch away from him. Give me that. And any time that the psychiatrist has any dialogue, he is just peak comedy. Like, he's this side character. He's a nobody character, but every single time that he's on screen, you know it's going to be good. And it's because he's interviewing. He interviews the cops.
I would like to change my answer.
He interviews the cops. He interviews, like, bystanders. People run into him, and they all go back to the same psychiatrist.
And the dialogue is so solid when they come in there. He's like, "What did you see? I saw 2 men carrying nothing. Carrying no man. 2 men carrying no man."
Yeah. I saw a man, and then there was no man. You know, it's little things like that, but also it's just almost the entire plot progression filters through.
I saw no man driving 2 men.
Yeah, exactly.
And I saw 2 men carrying no man.
Yeah.
the callback dialogue is so good.
But it's also like the last person that visits the psychiatrist is actually like the chief police investigator guy, who this entire time is just convinced that everybody's just screwing with him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "There's no way that he's invisible. There's no possible way that he's that." And then I saw 2 men carrying no man. And then he sees another thing and immediately turns back around to go talk to the psychiatrist again. I thought that was such a really funny thing where it's like you have this resource that you definitely would be using, because it's like an invisible man. That's insane. It's insane that you're hearing voices. You are seeing things move that are not supposed to be moving.
And
you're feeling things, and you're pretty sure that there's somebody there that's not there. Yes, all of those things are diagnosable, so you would go to the psychiatrist. And so every single person running into the psychiatrist was just a really clever, really well done return gag.
Well, and we made a joke like way earlier. I think it was like the second Invisible Man film, where like you remember, I think it was the first one that had the lady in the in the inn who like
Oh, that's the first one. Yeah, the
who,
innkeeper.
the innkeeper who's like
Yeah.
goes crazy almost. And then the second one, like all the people he's messing with, and we're like, is there just like some psychiatrist somewhere that everybody's going to? Like, I saw a Invisible Man, and he's like, tell me about it. And like, this is the
Tell
guy.
me where the voices are coming
We
from.
made that joke,
What
and
are they
like this
saying?
happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's almost like these guys watched all the original Invisible Man, and we're like, where do all these people go? Like. They look at all the people calling them crazy and stuff. What would actually happen to them? And they show it. Them going to the psychiatrist, getting like treated.
Well, and also the fact that the psychiatrist too kind of runs into enough people that he's like also kind of like, am I kind of going crazy here? Like people are talking about all this stuff. It's been going around lately. Kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
I would just say that the iconic part is just like it's a subtle thing. It's this return gag. It's a really kind of a nothing burger. If it wasn't in the movie would still go on.
Yeah.
But it's like peak comedy.
Yep. Agreed.
It is like the best way to break up because it's usually like in between these like kind of tense scenes. A lot of like the actual story happens, and then you have a break where they go and they have they literally have a psychotic break where they have to go to the psychiatrist.
Yep.
So I thought that was just very clever, very enjoyable. It was my favorite part of the movie. So I would say that is the iconic part for me.
Yep. I'm down. I can get with that.
All right. Universal has decided that they actually want to listen to some of our things, unlike the majority of YouTube and people.
Yeah.
Which isn't your problem if you like this video. Be sure to let us know by leaving a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and share us with your friends. Moving on.
Oh, very nice segue. Good job.
I try my best. You know, I really do. We're not trained and we're not scripted. And it's just-
No, if we were, it probably would be worse.
fair.
All right.
We are not professionals. We're not professional actors. We do this as a hobby. We have to
Yeah.
continuously remind ourselves that. Anyway, Universal decides to make our little hobby into an actual job. They offer you a contract. They say that they want to remake Abbott and Costello Meet The Invisible Man. What are some things that you could do for a modern audience in regards to this movie?
So Invisible Man actually did have a modern incarnation taken, 3 or 4 years ago? It was done
It was
after
about 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, no, it happened
It
more.
was before COVID.
17. Well, okay,
So
so
it was like 20.
in
it was
2017,
2019.
they redid the Mummy, again.
Then it was 2019 because 2017 they redid
Yeah,
the Mummy.
which was
They
going to
delayed
be like the
Invisible
new.
Man.
It was going to be the new Universal Monster Universe or whatever. When the Mummy didn't do well, they redirected the Invisible Man film to be a standalone film, and they made it like a psychological thriller horror film, which is exactly what you think would fit the Invisible Man mantra. It's like a perfect genre fit, right?
It works.
This film convinced me that a background comedy film for the Invisible Man works very well. It works. It's always worked well with humor. Some of the early Invisible Mans had a lot of side characters with humor. It's just Abbott and Costello are now part of those side character cast and are mainlined. It'd be like it's like mainlining Timon and Pumbaa and Lion King. Like they're side characters, but they're around a lot. They're really main characters through half of the film.
Yeah.
It's like a perception shift. The protagonist is the Invisible Man, but the Abbott and Costello are main characters. They're on the scene, they're in there. To do this for a modern audience, I would keep that effect. But make it like a really serious plot. Like this was a really serious plot. Guy's framed for murder. When he comes in to the scene, it's made as a joke with Abbott and Costello talking and about how there's a murderer will come in, and then he comes in, closes the door, checks the window, closes it. Guys would like to hire you, and you're like, dude, that's like a really serious like noir moment.
Yeah.
And it's played off kind of like as a joke, as like, oh, he's the killer, he's the guy, but he's really, really serious. His character, his I think it's his fiance. Is this is great? That never actually says.
I believe that I think it's his fiance.
Okay, and then the doctor are like very serious characters. but like everyone else in the film, even the cop, the gangster is a very serious character. The only other joke character in the whole thing is the cop and the psychiatrist. But the psychiatrist is actually played seriously. He's just basically, it's like whenever Abbott and Costello around, the serious characters start to break a little bit. It's the Deadpool effect. Like all the characters in a Deadpool film are really serious except for Deadpool, but everyone he's in direct contact with partially break out of the seriousness, but never fully. That is Abbott Costello in this. I wanna take like maybe we talked about Key and Peele before, or like a good comedy duo, or maybe a couple of comedians. They did this with the newest Haunted Mansion. I think 4 of the characters in there were comedians, but it was played as a serious film. But the people were kind of more serious.
No, Haunted Mansion was all serious actors. It was Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito.
I thought. No, you're right. That's right. I thought there were a couple of comedians in there. Owen Wilson is a comedic actor.
Well, he can be. Yeah.
Yeah, he can be. He's done serious.
Well, he was the most comedic actor in the movie. All the other ones were playing the straight.
Danny DeVito is a comedic actor.
Well, other than Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito, all of the
and
other
then
actors...
what's her name? The lady who played the Oracle. She's also a comedic actor. Yeah,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, not Jamie Lee Curtis.
She played the.
She played
psychic.
the the black lady. What's her name?
I think she plays Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah,
That's Rosario.
Yes. No, not Rosario. She's the mom of the boy.
Yeah.
It's the lady. It's the psychic lady.
The other psychic.
The other psychic. Yeah. Yes, her. She's a comedy actor. Anyway, the three of them were comedic actors, and they play somewhat comedic parts in a serious role. But take that. Take like a group of comedians, and then just have them kind of like wreak havoc to the other characters while they're being super serious. Get an Invisible Man character that takes the cake. I would go the dark route. That 2019 remake. He's like a dark, like killer kind of Invisible Man. Not at first. He goes that way. Becomes murderous and even like insane. While all the comedy characters are still doing the comedy bits around him. And then he's to the point where like he kills somebody and they're like, oh no, he wouldn't do that. And they're like, well, I don't know, man. I'm kind of concerned. And I would play up the bridge in. In this one, he never really goes too far. He gets back to where he gets before he goes too far. I would let it like go off the rails both directions. The comedy gets more comedic, the serious gets more serious in a juxtaposition, and towards the climax, and then it starts to get reined back in. I just think it'd be really fun, but literally have them kill somebody, and they're like, "Whoa, this has gone too far."
Yeah, that's fair.
Be fun.
Yeah.
Comedy horror. Be like. What I actually thought about it. We talked about this the last time. Was the two rednecks that accidentally kill all the kids?
Tuck and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, only that kind of idea, but they're actually serial killers. It's not accidental. Yeah, it's a comedy, but they're like they start think of it like that, but they start out as accidents, but they start to just accept it. Like, you know what? Screw it. We are mass murderers. Let's kill these kids.
We're a little too good at this.
Yeah, that, but with the Invisible Man, like it starts out comedic, but he starts to get more as the comedy goes down as the seriousness goes up, and then it pulls it back in.
That's fair. Okay, if I had to make this movie for a modern audience, sorry, my voice is just destroyed from doing my Invisible Man impression. It's hard. It's hard on the vocal cords.
What Invisible Man impression?
Oh, you're right. We actually had him in.
We actually had the real Invisible Man in studio.
He's floating around here somewhere.
Yeah, the closer actually just sitting over there on the floor.
Probably.
I don't know where he's at.
Anyway, If I had to do this for a modern audience, I think what I would do is I would lean into like the private eye thing. I'd probably get, I'm thinking something like, the other guys where maybe you have a couple of guys
Oh, that would be good.
used to be, well, but they're, they're screw ups. They just kind of weren't
The other guys was the one with
cops.
Tom Hanks' son, right?
No.
No?
I think he may have been in it. It has Michael Keaton in it. It's Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg.
Oh.
Marky Mark.
What is the other guys then?
That's the other guys.
No, what is it? The movie.
Oh, so Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, they're cops, and I forget all of the plot details. They're trying to bring down like a major crime ring or something like that, and they're not really supposed to be the main characters, but they become the main characters.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's a TV show I think called The Other Guys Well that's either based off that movie or the other way around, where they're like screw up side cops and they're supposed to be doing just like property crimes, but they end up solving like drug crimes and real murders because they're in the wrong place at the right time.
It's kind of like that. But
Okay,
like Mark
I was
Wahlberg actually wants to be a really good cop, but he's overly serious. Will Ferrell is just like the regular good guy cop, but he's very naive, and they have it is a really fun movie.
Okay.
It's been a minute since I've seen it.
now okay.
But it is
I'm
a
on the
very
same
fun
page
movie.
now. I was trying to figure out what you're referencing.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I would do something like that where maybe you have a couple of cops that are just kind of screw ups. One of them's very serious. One of them's more gullible, naive, that kind of dynamic. It works well with this, with Bud and Lou. That's kind of the dynamic. But for the modern audience, it would just be they're former cops, kind of got out of the game. They're not, they're or even they could still be cops and maybe they're getting ready to go.
I like the idea of them
detectives.
like being out because they're like going into the private detective business because that makes more sense for them if you're gonna go the route of them willing to like defend him or prove his innocence.
Yeah, and I think that you can keep a lot of the elements that are already in the movie as it is. The things I would change up is I wouldn't necessarily have it be like the mob is betting on boxing. I would make it a
That'd
thing
be a hard
where
one to do now.
It would be a hard one to do now. Like maybe there is something going on where they are betting on different things, but it could be, something different. I don't necessarily think it'd just be like the Chicago mob trying to.
I would do
swindle
it on
people
a
with
casino betting. Like they're cheating with Invisible Man in a casino or something.
Well, maybe it's something like that. But I think that it works well where you have the Invisible Man being an innocent person. Maybe he is this boxer. Maybe he's like a UFC fighter.
Yeah, that would be
good. Like, to modernize it, he could be a UFC fighter. And so he's already he has the tendency, he has the ability to be very violent because that, when he starts going insane, does make it a little bit more terrifying. When it's like, well, he actually could kill somebody in the ring. He's going kind of insane. He's losing his inhibitions. He actually probably could kill this guy while they're fighting. I'd lean into that too more as well, where maybe it is this like continuing rivalry of sorts. It could be betting. It could be the casino. It could be they're trying to pull a heist. Whatever it is, but I think that, you update it. Invisible Man, UFC fighter, there's a connection with some kind of criminal organization. The private detectives do end up going undercover. It doesn't just become this thing where like, oh, he just so happened to be in the right place at the right time, saw about the right person, and so they start thinking he's an actual fighter. I think that they actually purposely do kind of go undercover.
You want to make it more like the characters are comedic, but they're taking this seriously.
Right, but I think that they are just kind of bumbling idiots. The comedy does happen because of them, and it's a lot in the dialogue and stuff like that. But the actual plot
almost
is
like
serious.
21 Jump Street, where they're like serious characters, they're just not good at it. Where they make the comedy is in like their blunders, not their incompetence. It's like happenstance. They're taking the job seriously. They're just not good at it.
Yeah, exactly. I would just play up with that dynamic a bit. A lot more, in 21 Jump Street, I think, would be more of the dynamic I'm going for, where it is like, they are kind of screw-ups. They are going undercover, and one of them is a little bit more serious.
It's intentional. They have a point behind it, yeah.
Yeah, and you do have this back plot where it is like, well, he is invisible. They are trying to find a cure for him. It's taking a while, but he also is becoming a little bit more roguish. He can disappear for days
at
a time. So you're playing up that tension, and then it ultimately kind of comes to a head with the UFC fight, and maybe it is like the rivalry had gotten out of hand. They already had almost killed each other in the ring a couple of times, and now he's invisible, and he has the ability to actually do a severe amount of damage to this person. And yeah, he's starting to go a little bit insane.
That was actually one of the points of this film that was really hit home that you could pull from, where he says, I got hit. It feels like I felt his fist through his glove, because he was bare fist hitting him in the face, which is a lot different than hitting someone with a glove.
Yeah.
So that's like, there's like a brutality to him that I kind of just now realized again, like how every one of the Invisible Man characters just became like a worse version of themselves. Like whatever their tendencies or whatever their thing was, it's like that to its logical extreme. If you take it too far, that works really well with a UFC fighter. Like they are, it's a heavy amount of violence, but it's in a very controlled environment.
Yeah, but they have this.
That controlled environment gets removed. And he's on a serum that's making him jacked up. Like he's willing to kill for what he wants. Like he really hurt someone.
Yeah, and it makes him a little bit more volatile, a little bit more terrifying, because he is also invisible. And I would play up that a little bit more, where maybe he is becoming a little more unhinged and violent. Maybe he's becoming impatient because he thinks that the guys are, he hired these guys because they're cheap. Maybe he just kind of ran into them. Circumstance, convenience.
Right.
It could be something like that where he starts getting very impatient with them, and they're like, "Hey, we're trying to help you. We don't know how to move this forward. We can't just." You can even make a joke with a modern remake. You could be like, "We can't just put a record player in a plant and get them to tell us their plot. That's not how police work works. And we are trying to do this very seriously. They just keep screwing up or whatever it is."
Yeah.
So I would play into that dynamic a little bit more. This movie is good enough in and of itself that it just needs to have a more modern facelift.
Yes, if you were going to modernize it, really all you do is take the exact same plot and just put it against a modern setting.
With some modern
like
humor
Ocean,
and a modern
the
dynamic.
Ocean series is a good example of this. The original Ocean's 11 was the Rat Pack in a casino in like the 60s. They did was make a group of modern actors in a casino in a modern time. They just updated the setting because it was dated, because it was it's not a period piece. It feels dated because it is.
Yeah.
So, and they could probably remake the Ocean's movies for eternity, because every 20 years you can redo it to fit whatever the modern technology is.
It becomes
same with
more
Abbott and
interesting,
Costello. You just facelift it. You just, boxing is out of style. We do it UFC.
Yeah.
These comedians aren't in style anymore. Use these comedians. This character
kind of dynamic as compared to the slapstick dynamic of Abbott and Costello.
Right, exactly. So that's all you gotta do. Yep.
So yeah, just modern facelift. This movie is good in and of itself.
Yep.
That's kind of what I would do.
Okay.
Any final thoughts?
That's it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll leave you guys with this. If you like this video, please be sure to like it. I've already kind of said the spiel, but hey, if you liked that part, be sure to like. Don't forget. Comment. Let us know your thoughts. What did you think about Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man, the series in general? Are you enjoying it? What are you enjoying about it? Do you like our cold opens? We put a lot of so much. Anyway, be sure to share this with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yes, you did.
Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching.
Yes, fear. Fear is how I shall rule out of the evil. Oh, the power. Feels right. Feels good. It's feeling all of this ability that I have. All of this fear that I can make them feel. I can have them grovel at my feet. It alone fears me.